BTS news today. The South Korean entertainment world is always filled with captivating stories, from journeys to success, relentless hard work, to friendships formed in the midst of glittering stages. Yet, there is one story that has long remained hidden, far from the spotlight and never truly revealed to the public. The dark secret surrounding the friendship between two figures at the center of ARMY's love worldwide, Jungkook and Park Jimin. They are known as a duo so close, so in sync both on and off stage. But it is precisely that closeness that raises a big question. Have they been hiding something from the world all this time? Since their debut, many fans have seen how Jimin, born in 1995, became a protective older brother to Jungkook, the golden magne born in 1997. In every documentation, cameras often captured those small yet precious moments. When Jimin would pat Jungkook's shoulder, adjust his microphone, or brush away strands of hair falling over his face. As if unconsciously, they built an irreplaceable image in the hearts of fans. But what many don't know is that their friendship wasn't always smooth sailing. Behind the laughter, jokes, and warm embraces, there were wounds they almost never spoke of in public. That secret began long before the world knew BTS as a global phenomenon. During their trainee days, their lives were filled with overwhelming pressure. Jimin came from Busan with a deep sense of insecurity, often feeling less talented than other trainees. Meanwhile, Jungkook, though hailed as a prodigy with extraordinary vocals and dance, felt trapped under the weight of impossible expectations. Two different struggles found solace in each other, but that closeness also often led to friction. One night, according to a former staff member close to them, Jungkook and Jimin had a heated argument in the practice room. Jimin scolded Jungkook for seeming unwilling to practice choreography late into the night, while Jungkook felt Jimin was pushing himself too hard. Harsh words flew, something unimaginable between the two. That night, Jimin, usually so gentle, was visibly furious, while Jungkook, stubborn as ever, refused to back down. The fight ended in a long silence, and according to the staff, they didn't speak for days. But what made this story darker was the guilt that lingered in Jimin's heart. He once vaguely confessed in an interview that there was a time when he felt like he failed as Jungkook's hyung. Many ARMY didn't catch the deeper meaning behind those words, but for those who had followed their journey from the start, it felt like a missing puzzle piece to a bigger secret. Was there truly something in their past that made Jimin carry this burden until today? There was also a moment when Jungkook, during a late-night live broadcast, almost revealed something about Jimin before abruptly stopping mid-sentence. ARMY worldwide immediately speculated. Some were convinced Jungkook was about to share something deeply personal, perhaps a story only the two of them knew. But his sudden serious expression, followed by a small laugh to cover the slip, only made it clearer that there was a big secret he chose to keep. Many theories surfaced, from rumors that the two once had a huge fight that nearly broke their bond, to speculations that they shared a secret promise which, if revealed, would change how the world viewed them. The fact that Jungkook and Jimin often appeared so perfectly in sync, even without words, only deepened the mystery surrounding their friendship. How could two people understand each other so well unless they had gone through something incredibly heavy together? Another story comes from their early BTS years, before global fame. According to a backup dancer who once worked with them, Jimin was once seen silently crying alone in a waiting room after an exhausting practice. Jungkook, still just a teenager then, entered the room without saying a word, simply sitting beside Jimin until his tears stopped. What happened that night was never explained, but from that moment, their relationship changed. They were no longer just bandmates, but brothers bound by a secret of their own. The dark secret of their friendship felt even more real when the two were rarely seen together in public in recent years. Many fans wondered if they had deliberately created some distance, or if it was simply a way to protect their privacy. Yet, small moments seemed to contradict that idea, like the way they looked at each other on stage, the faint smiles only they seemed to understand, or the subtle gestures like a unique hand tap shared between them. It was as if they had a secret code never explained to anyone else. The peak of speculation came when Jimin released his emotional solo song, with several lyrics interpreted by ARMY as hidden messages to Jungkook. Likewise, in Jungkook's works, there was an undertone that seemed not meant for the public, but for someone very special to him. Were these songs their silent way of communicating, a way to express what they couldn't say out loud? To this day, no one truly knows the dark secret of Jungkook and Jimin's friendship. Was it a past promise they vowed never to reveal, or a wound they once shared and chose not to reopen? One thing is certain, that secret has only made their bond stronger, so strong that even the world can feel it. ARMY may never receive a clear answer, but perhaps that's the beauty of it, that behind the dazzling stage lights, there lies a shadow that makes their friendship feel real, human, and profoundly deep. And maybe one day, when the time feels right, the secret will be revealed. Whether through a song, an interview, or simply a glance they finally allow the world to understand. Until then, this mystery will remain one of the most intriguing, thrilling, and puzzling tales in BTS history. The story of these two great names of BTS, Jungkook and Park Jimin, has always been portrayed as warm, full of smiles, and seemingly unbreakable. To the public, they are like brothers not born of the same blood, but forged through a long journey that bound them in a connection hard to explain. Yet every beautiful story hides a shadow, a secret unspoken, a truth locked tightly in their hearts. For ARMY, Jungkook and Jimin's friendship is among the most precious things they've ever witnessed. After all, since BTS's early days, cameras captured their natural interactions that never felt staged. Jimin often watched over Jungkook with care, while Jungkook stayed close to Jimin, looking at ease as if the world felt lighter by his side. Yet few know that all of this was born from a long process, from wounds and inner battles unseen by anyone. The sleepless training nights became silent witnesses when these two met as fragile young men. Jimin, the boy from Busan weighed down by self-doubt, often felt he wasn't good enough. He nearly quit training because he constantly compared himself to others. Jungkook, the boy courted by big agencies, chose Big Hit because of the warmth he felt from the Hyungs. Yet behind his smile, he carried the fear of expectations too high, the fear of failing to prove himself. Their first encounters in the practice room didn't immediately spark closeness. At first, Jungkook thought Jimin was too hard on him. Jimin, being 2 years older, often scolded him harshly whenever he seemed lazy or lost focus. There's a little-known moment. One night, Jungkook threw a water bottle on the floor in frustration over Jimin's words that felt too sharp. The practice room froze in silence. Staff nearby stood still, and Jimin simply walked out without a word. For days after, they barely spoke. Yet from that fight, a stronger bond began to form. According to a former trainee who once shared a dorm with them, one night Jimin came back exhausted to find Jungkook asleep on the sofa, earphones still in his ears. On the small table was a note that read, "Hyung, I'm sorry. I want to be better." Those simple words, scrawled in Jungkook's teenage handwriting, made Jimin cry quietly. From then on, Jimin no longer saw Jungkook as just a stubborn younger brother, but as a boy full of fears, just like himself. Their dark secret didn't end in their trainee days. After debut, the pressure only grew heavier. There were rumors among staff that Jungkook once locked himself in a hotel room for nearly a full day after a BTS performance he thought was a failure.